So this is a really interesting conversation and topic because you have conservatives and libertarians, independents for the first time discovering a Miller Lite ad that is months old, but it has in it the sort of repulsive, feminist, girl power, anti man content that so many people are sick and tired of. And so if you watch the ad, it's just on every level, it makes you feel gross. It is a reflection of the piss water that this company sells. Now, I know that some people have been switching to Miller Lite, and that's perfectly fine if you want to do that. I personally didn't because I think it tastes like garbage. But here's the reality: this was done a month before the Dylan Mulvaney sponsorship. What will be interesting is to see if Miller Lite and Coors change their logo and change their marketing for Pride Month, as most corporations are wont to do. It'll be interesting to see if this had any effect whatsoever. I think absolutely they will switch for Pride Month, even though not doing so would actually probably increase their sales, but they're beholden to the woke cult at this point, and not doing so, they're just terrified of bad coverage and bad PR, even though we've seen when people refuse to wear the rainbow jerseys, people will go out and support them like a thousandfold. But that's neither here nor there. It's just looking to the future. What are these companies going to do? The fact that this ad was approved and put out there tells you just how deep into the shit we are. We're into the weeds. The fact that this got past a board of people that didn't look at this and say, "Are you kidding? You're telling me that we're going to try to empower women by alienating our core customer base to such an unbelievable degree, and then we're going to say, well, women are going to use the garbage that is sent to us, the garbage that is sent to us to grow the hops to make the beer for these, empowered women beer." First of all, I would never drink this because I don't want hops that were built off of the foundation of other people's, decades old garbage. But second of all, from a principled and philosophical standpoint, I think that it's rather quite repugnant when you have these ads that are, we're women and we created beer. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. This is more delusion. And here's the thing: there's a reason why the Netflix Cleopatra drama documentary, dramamentary, docudrama, whatever you want to call it, there's a reason why it failed. Because if you want to play in the land of fiction and make believe, like, oh, women have had just as many inventors, women have had just as big of impact on the world as men have, if you want to live in that fantasy land, go right ahead. But when you start revising history, when you start making alterations because a new political fad is in, and the political fad that you're trying to latch onto is one that is anti man, and not even pro woman, but pro far left feminist woman, which, as we've seen, they can't even define what a woman is. I'm not going to drink that beer. It's interesting. My philosophy is if you advertise yourself as a woman owned business or a minority owned business, I'm less likely to support your product because what it tells me is that you are focused on immutable characteristics rather than the product. You see, in my business, I would never say, you know what, I'm a white male. I'm a white male, and I'm straight. This business is owned by a white straight male. I wouldn't do that because, first of all, it's fucking embarrassing. Like, my product isn't good or my service isn't good so you have to feel bad for me? You have to feel bad for me? I mean, that's the whole point of this. Like, a woman-owned business, the whole point of that is women are marginalized, so support us. No. No. I'll support you if you're the best one on the market, if you have the best customer service and the best price. And sort of the same thing with that guy who is trying to sell that ridiculous $20 for a six-pack conservative beer. I shit all over that guy because his first thing was, hey guys, I'm a conservative. I'm a patriot. Don't you like, patriotic things? Don't you like conservatism? Oh, don't you hate wokeness? Well, then buy my beer. Like, no. No. If you want to add that in there, be like, look, I've been seeing too many of these ads, too many of these campaigns that don't go along with America's values. But I'm here to tell you that I have made a beer for the authentic every American. Made with the finest ingredients, a simple recipe that would be accepted by even the people with the highest standards, the purists. This beer, I'm hoping to put in the hands of every American. Something like that, like about the purity of the beer, about the quality of the beer, about, its taste, it's more nutritious, it's, basically going down the list of why this beer is just better. But no, the guy didn't do that. He tried to charge $20 for a six-pack, plus like $20 some odd shipping, because it had anti-woke on the can. Ultra-right beer. It's like, that's pathetic. And I think that same way when I say, this is a black-owned business. It's like, when I'm looking for something to watch, if I see that something is listed under, like, black entertainment, I won't watch it. Because it's racist. It is. Oh, I want to watch a great movie. Let me look at who's black in the movie. It's like, oh, that is deeply racist. All because these corporations want a virtue signal. So, for me, I find this to be extremely troubling. We're going to watch a little bit of a video from Tim Pool. And maybe the quartering, depends. But this is everything that's wrong with this situation. Bud Light needs to come out and apologize. They need to apologize to their fans. Do what Bud Light didn't. Say, hey, you know what? We thought about it. We looked at this. We took your feedback into account. This ad does not reflect our values. We respect the fact that, our old marketing was, for the time, it was, something that Americans loved, and it was very, very popular. And, we appreciate that. We appreciate your business. We appreciate you. And, we want to say that we're sorry. We're sorry that this ad was so tone deaf. We will do better in the future. The marketing team has been fired, and the people involved in that have nothing to do with this company going forward. That's how you handle this situation. You get rid of them, you come up with a statement, and you openly apologize. If you do that, you're golden. I think that people will be very likely to forgive you. But if you double down and you continue like Bud Light has, people just move to Coors. And, I hate to tell you, but even if Coors were to go down, there are other beers. There are other beers out there that people can turn to. So, now this is one of the easiest boycotts in the world because there are so many options.
Dr. Squatch. Star Wars, a new soul. It's here.
Miller Lite is trending on Twitter after a video surfaced of a woke feminist beer commercial for Miller. And everyone's saying this is Miller Lite's, hey Bud Light, hold my beer moment. But the reality is, I have important context for you, my friends. This ad, which you may have seen, it's from 1 month before Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. A whole month. Yep. Nobody cared. But now that we're all on board with boycotting beer, And many people on the right are realizing, hey, wait a minute, beer's really easy to boycott.
Yep.
Miller Lite, you're next.
Yep.
We got this from Upoye. After Bud Light, Miller Lite faces boycott calls for woke beer ad. I guess that's where we're at right now. And I have this clip from the Daily Wire. They posted it. I'm going to play for you this commercial so you can see it for yourself. And I responded to the Daily Wire saying this is from 1 month before the Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light. But let's play the commercial for you so you can understand why people are saying boycott Miller Lite. Let me just stress, they're arguing. It's a feminist AntiMen commercial. Here you go.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever.
First of all, saying that somebody is among the first, they didn't say the first. They said among the first. What does that mean? What does that mean? Among the first. It means absolutely fucking nothing. They're not concrete. It's a vague, nebulous statement because they want to say that women were part of making beer. No, they fucking weren't. Anyone with a brain knows that that's not true.
From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis.
They put us in bikinis. They put us. Well, it's sort of like that thing I was talking about with, the Netflix Cleopatra special. It's like, we were slaves and we're oppressed and we've been victims throughout history and we've been marginalized and destroyed, and the colonizers, those evil colonizers, they've been wronging us at every turn. We deserve reparations. Oh, and by the way, we was kings and queens. We ruled the world. We were in charge of ancient Egypt, don't you know? It's like, wait a minute. Hey, do you not see how these two things are? You can't have both of them, but they want both of them because both, one or the other serves a different function. But this is like they put us in bikinis. No, very attractive women wore bikinis because they were getting paid money and being given exposure. No pun intended. And you know what? A lot of people really liked it. But now you have this unattractive, frumpy-faced, so problematic person that's looking at this like it's an issue. This is not an issue. This is not a problem. There's nothing wrong with this. Women are beautiful. There's nothing wrong with using them in your marketing. I don't mean like using them, they exploited the evil men did. They exploited us. No. Beautiful women sell things. Men are like, wow, that woman is beautiful. Maybe if I buy this beer, I can get one drunk enough to act. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, people drink beer, I think, to to sort of dull their own senses because the woman they're with likely isn't very attractive. So they want to fantasize about this. You drink enough beer and you know what? She looks pretty good. That whole, they got that whole thing. The streamer Asmongold mentioned that, if you're ugly, people don't want to look at you. Well, you know what helps with that? Beer. Drinking a couple beers, suddenly that ugly person doesn't look so ugly anymore. But you got this woman looking at this like, gross. But no, there's nothing wrong with this.
What? Women choose to wear bikinis. What are you talking about? I love this. They put us in bikinis. You put yourself in bikinis. You literally go to the store and buy them and wear them.
Well,
nobody makes you do it.
Well, Tim's getting into the weeds. Oh, you go and you buy but the point is they go to the shoots, the photo shoots. They know what they're doing. This is a job. They sign up for it. They get paid. I actually don't even know if they buy the bikinis. They could be, on set. They could be part of their wardrobe. Who knows? But it's all voluntary. It's all willing. Women chose to do this, and more power to them.
Wow.
What a bitch!
Look at this.
That's awesome.
Wild.
It's amazing. So, what would you rather have? These attractive women looking like they're having fun, or this fugly-looking dumpster fire trying to lecture you about, oh, that's so problematic, it's so bad, it's so much better, now we're empowered. This obnoxious, just ridiculous caricature of a, nagging woman. That's really what you want to use to sell your beer? That's what you think is empowering? These are way more empowering. These are way more empowering. This is not. And this is repulsive. And if this were your ad, I would never, ever buy your beer. I would never buy your beer on principle. Because goddamn, that is horrible.
Time beer made it up to women. So today...
No. No. Beer is not going to make it up to you. The world's not going to make it up to you. How about you start making it up to us? How about you start making it up to us for constantly being such fucking buzzkills? Being such entitled, spoiled, ignorant, crass, just unsophisticated, unproductive, uncreative human beings. People like her. This elitist feminist bracket that looks at what you enjoy, which is beautiful women and not a lot of clothing. You enjoy that, I enjoy that, there's nothing wrong with that. But this woman thinks there is. Well, you know what? Fuck her. No, I'm not literally fuck her, but get the fuck out. No one wants you here. No one's watching this ad because they actually want you here. You're an annoyance. You're an irritant. You're like an in-law that's overstayed their welcome, and now you're criticizing, how we're watching the football game. It's like, bitch, get the fuck out. Seriously. Like, if an in-law were sitting there and you're trying to watch the game, you're like, okay, it's like we're down by 2. If he hits this field goal, he's gonna make it. You're gonna put us a point over. We could win the game, and you've got this aunt or this, not aunt. You've got this mother-in-law or sister-in-law or whoever sitting there just nagging your ear off. And she's just being annoying and lecturing you and criticizing you and all this stuff. And she's yum. You're going to be like, oh my God. You'd be like, I just want to sit here and enjoy the game. That's how people like me think when they see these ads. Like, oh, a beautiful woman having fun, playing, drinking this product. Nothing wrong with that. These ads are repugnant. They're off-putting. Because they're all about the worst aspects of women, which is them running their fucking mouth and annoying the bejesus out of you for no reason while you're trying to enjoy the things that you enjoy.
Miller Lite
Beer made it up to women. All of these women were paid handsomely to appear in commercials where they intentionally wore scantily clad clothing to try and attract men. It's like the craziest thing. As if none of these women who are models, who are handsomely paid for this, have any agency. But continue, please.
is on a mission to clean up not just their shit, but the whole beer industry.
Oh, the whole beer industry.
Oh, wow. And this is something that female comedians do. They think if they say the F word or they start swearing, then we'll take it seriously. No, it just makes you look like a clown. It just makes you look pathetic. Like we're going to start cursing so we're serious. No, it doesn't make you look serious. It makes you look like a clown. At least from my point of view.
Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this shit and buying it back so that he can turn it into good shit for women brewers.
Okay, let me just break this down for you. They're basically saying they will buy old beer ads of attractive women and turn it into compost.
Literally, good shit. How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad shit into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. push out beautiful fertilizer.
That good helps farmers grow quality hops.
You know how I know a woman came up with this idea? Because it's so fucking stupid. I know a woman came up with this. A group of women in a creative setting. I've seen it. I work in marketing. I work in advertisement as well. You know, as I'm having to oversee designs for my company and logos and ads and all different types of stuff. I have to oversee certain elements, make sure things, you know, get out on time and look the right way. So I have a huge hand in marketing, development, advertising, all that stuff. I have seen groups of women come up with the worst ideas that you could possibly imagine. And these are more like consultations, or when I was working for another company, it's like, whether it's today or in the past, I've seen stuff like this. And it's horrible. And I don't tolerate it for my business, but a lot of other people did. If you come up with an idea this atrociously bad, that's going to cost money, that's going to damage our brand, that's going to discredit pretty much everything that we did in the past, I would fire you on the spot, and it would be for cause. And the reason is because you're a fucking idiot. There's no way that you can justify this, because you are disrespecting your own brand. Now, if you wanted to go with a different direction, you're like, okay, you know what? Women have updated, women have evolved. We want to do ads where women are doing things. And we're not going to be overt about it. We're just going to have women in race cars and riding horses and, you know, doing cool things and drinking beer. But there's no scantily clad anything. There's no bikinis, nothing. I'd say, okay, there's some potential in that. You do a really sick ad, a really, really cool one. You know, women MMA. Maybe get like maybe get the UFC. Maybe get the UFC women's champion. You know, get her to do it. Like just her being a badass, not sitting there lecturing you about women empowerment, but just kicking ass, being awesome, like winning, like that you could do. And it wouldn't offend anyone, because you're not insulting men. You're just showing kick-ass women doing kick-ass things. But no, this is all of the worst elements of marketing crammed together. First of all, women saying shit is just gross. We've seen this from female comedians. When they curse, it's just off-putting. Now, if they have to curse, it's like, it's fine. But doing it over and over and over, and trying to create this thing of like, oh, we're all impressed women and now we're in this together against the evil patriarchy because they forced us to do this. No, fuck that. I'm never buying Miller Lite again. You guys can kiss my ass. That is bullshit. Those women knew what they were doing. They did so voluntarily, and those ads are amazing. They're a piece of history. They're wonderful. I wish we could go back to those ads. They're much better than this. This ugly 4 out of 10 is sitting there cursing, saying, we're going to make hops out of garbage. It's like, bitch, what do you think? I'm saying bitch too much, but goddamn. It's like, these are not representative of most women. These are the type of activist, feminist hags and nags that you see on social media. It is repellent.
Which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
Donated. I just gotta, look, these old ink chemical pages and magazine pictures and stuff, probably it's not something you want to have in your beer. This sounds more like sabotage, to be honest. Miller is sending hops to people that was grown from chemical-ridden compost. Not interested.
But there's definitely more shit out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any shit you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good shit too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Without women, there would be no beer. Dude, women are people. That's so dumb. It's like, without people, there'd be no cars. Yeah, probably, unless like dolphins grew hands or something. We get it. Women, as humans, contribute to the necessity of producing something to consume. Thank you. So the history of beer is quite fantastic, and there's many urban legends, as it were. The idea is generally humans were nomadic until we accidentally discovered beer. We mixed some grains in water or something and then, fermented. And we were like, hey, this is really good. It makes me feel really good, but it was kind of bad for you. But ultimately what happens is, as they say, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a beer historian. It was safer to drink lower alcohol content beers because the alcohol killed bad stuff in the water. So societies that had beer tended to do better. Liquid bread, as they called it. It was also a way to store grain because if with the fermented carbohydrate liquid, you didn't have to worry about it spoiling because of the alcohol content for the most part. Again, not an expert. But here you are, my friends, from prnewswire.com. This is from March 7th, 2023. Now, I'm not saying don't boycott Miller Lite. I don't care if you do. I think there's good reason to boycott Bud Light. Miller Lite's like, whatever, they did a stupid feminist commercial.
No, that is significant, Tim. I think that you're off the mark on this just a bit. No, I think that it is important because so often this is what leads into the shit like Dylan Mulvaney. It's this anti-man, gonna put it out on your customer base type of bullshit. There's no reason for it, by the way. I've maintained this for a long time. If Hollywood were filled with people with a fucking brain, if they were filled with people like me, they'd be able to get done all the things they want to get done without the spite. Because like I mentioned, the ad that I would come up with that would be pro-woman wouldn't put down men at all. In fact, it would be a badass ad that men would look at and go, wow, that's really goddamn cool. Because I would get all the things that men like, and I would have women being, pandered to, but in a way that was respectful and was interesting. That's the main thing. Getting, getting women's champions, getting, fighters, people who are good at what they do, not political ones. I'm not putting Serena Williams in an ad, ever. But getting women who are exceptional, doing a brief thing about their story, and their connection with the beer. It's like, there are many different ways that you can handle this, and it seems like they chose the worst one.
I think it's ridiculous. So if you want to boycott them, by all means. But March 7th, they announced this. They said, there's no beer without women. In fact, women were among the first beer brewers in history. Yet for the years that followed, many in the beer industry, Miller Lite included, alienated the very people who helped create it. How? By dividing women as consumers, objectifying them in their ads, and frankly, putting a lot of bad-ish out there. Today, Miller Lite is announcing Bad-ish to Good-ish, an initiative creating fertilizer made from old sexist beer advertising that will be used to grow hops for female brewers. The beer brand is teaming up with producer, comedian, actor, and undeniable arbiter of good-ish, Alana Glazer.
Hold on.
Or is it Alana Glazer?
Hold on. I want to look up who this person is. I'm very curious. I have no idea. Who is Alana Glazer? Oh, so she was the ugly, obnoxious chick from the beginning. All right. Well, I mean, we can take a look at her Twitter if you want. Oh, perfect. We're off to a good start. We're off to a good start. Black Lives Matter. So she supports a domestic terrorist group. That's a good thing. Let's see. It seems like
I ain't dead. And I go down, and everybody who's hit me is out. You all declare me, not you, editorially in a broad sense, declare me dead. And guess what? I ain't dead, and I'm not going to die. I go down, and everybody who's hit me.
I don't understand. Going to start calling voting micro-dosing democracy. I mean, Oh my God. Oh, Tim, how did you not look into this woman? You mean to tell me that you listen? This woman to me is as fucking obnoxious as Dylan Mulvaney is to you. Read this, Tim. Seriously, nah. Leaving isn't a vibe. What is this in response to? Leaving isn't a vibe. This is from October. Beat gayer, more trans, blacker, and progressive as F. Put in their face what they want to push away. So, Tim, let me ask you something. This was retweeted by Alana Glazer. Where in this do you think that it's no big deal? This company decided to team up with this person. This is a huge deal. Look at this person's timeline. It's littered with filth. Brain dead, low IQ, feminist, rotten filth. Yeah, and this woman is going to turn garbage into magic? No, she is the garbage. I'm dropping hints that it's 2 weeks until election. It's... oh my God. Well, at least she said something right. She retweeted it. This man is the nastiest skank bitch I've ever met. Do not trust him. He is a fugly slut. Well, I mean, they even managed to take a defeat from the jaws of victory. There's so many reasons not to like Mitch McConnell, but calling him a fugly slut is not one of them. So even when they ostensibly get something right, they still fuck it up. So this person clearly... I mean, please tell me this is... based on these followers, yeah. God, that is embarrassing. That's who they teamed up with. So Tim, I'm not trying to shit in your Cheerios here, but this is a huge problem. And by the way, I haven't seen her comedy special, but if it's anything like her tweets, oh shit. Let's take a look at her Instagram. Oh, jeez. I'm now kind of afraid, actually. I don't want to... oh, yeah. Of course she would support that. I mean, her Instagram so far isn't... oh my God. Woo! Oh, what was that? I'm sorry. I couldn't fucking hear you over the sound of your goddamn hypocrisy. Oh, they don't let me. Oh, come on. I don't want. All right. Oh my God. So wait a minute. This is her. So you're Tim, this is why you got to do your due diligence, man. This is why you've got to do it. You're like, I don't think it's a big deal. So this woman that's getting on there, yeah, didn't she complain about women in bikinis during her ad? Yeah, what an embarrassing hypocrite. Your commercial sucks. I mean, yes, absolutely. Listen, I didn't know about this. I don't have a script here. Sometimes I have a general premise. I'll watch a video. This is on the fly. I looked up her thing, wanted to see if it was, what it was. I stumbled into this. But this is damning. And this is who Miller Lite is teaming up with to condemn the quote-unquote sexist and terrible ads of women who did this same thing, but instead of looking for likes and retweets, actually got paid cash and got massive exposure, again, no pun intended. Man. Oh, wow, just like an old Miller ad. Tim, how did you miss this? This is like going scavenging for like for a couple like shiny rocks and finding a mountain of gold. This is brilliant. Now, again, I want it to be perfectly clear. I have no problem with this. I'm not here to shame her for doing this. I'm here to make fun of her because she did an entire fucking campaign about how evil it was that women of the past. I mean, look at this. This is her. Yeah, this is it. Give us your old ads where women wore bikinis and put it out there, and we're going to take all that and we're going to turn it into shit. Meanwhile, on her Instagram, holy criminy. Now, I know some people will take this out of context. What's the big deal? Why are you shaming her? Because she did this ad. This is not just a little bit of hypocrisy. This was an ad that was paid for by Miller Lite, that was put out there to shit on men who like beautiful, attractive women in bikinis. This woman in the video made it very, 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 very clear that this is unacceptable. That women are owed something from this. She looks at this with contempt and disdain. Do you understand? I'm not shitting on her for posting, pictures of herself in a bikini on Instagram. But look at it. They're taking these photos and they're burning them, or they're shredding them. They're getting rid of them. They are dumping them out as garbage. And yet, this is her. Do you understand? Now you can say, well, that's her own private thing. She's not getting paid. Yes, but the hypocrisy is real. The hypocrisy is real. And she's not alone in this. There are a lot of other women that advocate this anti-man feminist bullshit, but at the end of the day, they don't believe it. So you are pushing a harmful, damaging ideology, a harmful, damaging worldview, and you yourself don't even adhere to it. That these ads are terrible and that they're shit. But now we're going to make them good. No, you're not. Nothing about you about you is good. I haven't seen your comedy, but I would be surprised if your comedy was actually funny. You seem to be the type of person that's perpetually miserable, maybe because you're in a cult that doesn't realize the sheer hypocrisy and hubris of your worldview. Just saying. I mean, maybe we go through some more of these. What's that about bashing suits in Miller Lite? Yeah, well, I'm certainly not going to be purchasing any Miller Lite. I think that these sort of campaigns are ridiculous and should be boycotted. I think that it's really as simple as, I'm just not going to buy Miller Lite, which for me is the easiest thing in the world to do because I think it tastes like piss. I'm not a huge fan of it. And now upon closer expansion, nah. It's probably not cold enough in there. But my point here in this video is to highlight the absolute insanity of this type of ad campaign and the philosophy behind it. It is rooted in evil, malignant, toxic ideas that should not be approved or encouraged or promoted. They should be utterly and unequivocally condemned. And like I said, if Miller Lite wants to recover from this, they will apologize, they will terminate their connection and fire her, and they will do anything in their power to make it clear to their customers that this was a lapse in judgment and that they are going forward going to be doing better. because this whole thing was absolute garbage. Yeah, well, how do you like that? We didn't even have to go into a quartering video. And we didn't even have to go to the end of Tim Pool's video. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support the channel, if you want to do something to help me grow, you can go over and follow me on Rumble. We're at 35 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 40. We're building something here. Every follower helps. It's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. I guess I should, say if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can do it. I would much prefer Rumble because I want to build this up. But, yeah, this is just absolutely absurd. It's embarrassing. It's more rancid political garbage from the woke left, from these corporations that are filled with morons, and I've said it, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. There's a way to get your point across. There's a way to do it in a very stylized, cool, sophisticated way, but always, when women are in charge, always it goes to spite. Always. And it turns out, more often than not, the type of women that are in these positions are massive hypocrites, massive idiots, and have no idea what they're doing or talking about. And in the end, a campaign that already looked bad from the beginning now looks even worse. So, on that note, I will bid you guys a good day, and I will see you next time.